All right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring James Nestor's Deep.
Oh, this one's a fascinating read.
Yeah, in this deep dive, we're going beyond the usual, pretty fish and coral reefs.
Right.
It's more about what the ocean can tell us about ourselves,
Yeah.
our human limits,
Mhm.
and just how intelligent marine life really is.
Absolutely.
I've got to say, when I first cracked open Deep, the whole master switch of life concept really hooked me.
Oh, yeah.
Like this idea that we're more connected to the underwater world than we think. It felt almost sci-fi.
It is a bit mind-bending, isn't it? The way Nestor uses freediving to explore that connection. Like, he describes these physiological changes.
Oh, yeah.
When we dive deep, the shrinking lungs, the heart rate slowing down, even blood flow shifting to protect the vital organs.
It's incredible.
It's like we've got this hidden potential, like an ancient connection we've forgotten about.
It makes you think, right? You've got all this high-tech gear freedivers use these days. But then you look at the ama divers of Japan.
Right.
Centuries they've been freediving with the simplest of equipment. They just rely on holding their breath, this incredible resilience.
It is amazing.
Makes you wonder if we've overcomplicated things.
Well, the Alma are a perfect example of what we might be missing. Nestor talks about their philosophy. It's so simple, you just dive.
Wow.
No overthinking, no fancy gadgets, just a deep understanding of their body and the ocean.
It's almost like meditation.
Exactly, like a complete
It
immersion.
makes you think about all our tech these days, right?
Yeah.
Are we losing touch with nature because we rely on all these gadgets and gizmos?
It's a good question to ask yourselves. The Amma show us a different way, a way that's more in tune with our natural side. And Nestor suggests that rediscovering this connection to the ocean could be the key to understanding ourselves better.
Okay, so we've talked about the human side, but what about the actual creatures down there?
Oh, yeah.
Nestor dives into some really mind-blowing marine intelligence in this book. Did you know bull sharks can detect these tiny electrical fields?
They're so sensitive.
It's like sensing a battery hooked up to wires stretched across hundreds of miles, almost like a sixth sense.
It's a level of sensitivity we can hardly fathom. It makes you question our definition of senses. Even like, are we defining them based on our limited human experience? Or are there all these sensory experiences out there we just don't know about?
It's true. Makes you think about how we define intelligence, too.
Yeah.
We always focus on human smarts, but what about, say, sperm whales?
Oh, absolutely.
They use echolocation not just to get around, but to create detailed maps, hunt, even talk to each other across huge distances.
And what's amazing, different sperm whale families, they have unique codas, like distinct dialects.
No way.
Yeah, it suggests social complexity and cultural transmission. Really, we're just scratching the surface of understanding it.
Then you have dolphins who can call each other out by name, using whistles,
It's incredible.
recognizing individuals, complex social structures. It begs the question, where do we draw the line with intelligence?
Sure.
Are we being too human-centered in our definition?
That's a big one Nestor keeps coming back to. He wants us to broaden our view of intelligence,
Okay.
to see the different forms it takes in nature, and maybe question if our human-centric view limits our understanding of the planet.
So from human freedivers to sharks, whales, dolphins. Deep is already turning our assumptions upside down. And we're just getting started. We haven't even touched on his time in an underwater research lab or that deep ocean dive in a homemade submarine. So buckle up. Things are about to get even more fascinating. Back again for more of Deep.
We just skimmed the surface of freedivers and how smart marine life is, but now Nestor takes us on this wild ride. He lived in Aquarius, that underwater research lab, for days. It's like an apartment, but 60 feet underwater.
Living underwater for that long
Yeah.
really makes you think about the challenges. It's constant battling the elements,
Oh, totally.
the crazy humidity, the pressure in your ears,
Yeah.
even mold growing on everything. Can you imagine trying to do research with all that going on? Nestor doesn't sugarcoat it, that's for sure. He talks about towels never drying, the air being thick and heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Even the food tastes different because of the pressure.
Yeah.
It's not some luxury underwater hotel.
Definitely not. But it's amazing the dedication of the scientists working there.
Yeah.
Despite all that, they're making huge discoveries about coral, how algae produces oxygen, things that are crucial for the planet.
It's a good reminder,
Yeah.
right? Understanding the ocean isn't just about, cool creatures and adventures.
No.
It's about this whole delicate balance of life on Earth and how much we humans are impacting it.
For sure. And speaking of pushing boundaries, Nestor doesn't stop at Aquarius. He goes even deeper.
Deeper.
Yeah. This time, it's in a homemade submarine called Idabel. built by this engineer, Carl Stanley. Talk about DIY projects.
This guy built his own submarine.
Oh.
To explore the deep ocean? Wow, the ingenuity, the daring, it's just mind-blowing.
The journey itself is incredible. They go down to 2,500 feet where the pressure is immense, pitch black.
I can't even imagine.
You'd think it'd be barren down there, but
Okay. What is it like?
it's the opposite. Nestor describes this vibrant ecosystem, bioluminescent creatures, all these weird adaptations.
Really?
There's even this false bottom illusion where the seafloor looks closer than it is because of how light bends in the water. It's like another dimension.
It's amazing how life finds a way to thrive in these extreme places, isn't it? Shows you how resilient nature is.
Yeah.
And how much we still don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
But I have to ask, before we get carried away with all this wonder,
Yeah.
what about the risks involved in these explorations? The ethics?
Right. It's a valid point, and Nestor knows it. Pursuing knowledge, that drive to explore, sometimes comes at a cost.
Yeah.
It's important to think about those costs, you know?
For sure.
Be mindful of how we impact these fragile ecosystems, make sure we're not doing harm just to learn something new.
That's a good point. But at the same time, there's something about that human spirit of exploration.
Right.
That desire to push boundaries, understand the unknown.
Yeah.
It's what led us to discover continents, map the stars, and now dive into the ocean depths.
I agree. It's that same spirit that fuels science and innovation. It's about striking a balance, exploration and conservation, understanding the risks and rewards, and ultimately using our knowledge to protect this planet.
And that brings us right back to Nestor's main message in Deep, doesn't it? The ocean isn't just this big body of water. It reflects us, our ingenuity, our limitations, and our responsibility to protect it.
Absolutely. And we've only just dipped our toes in, really.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've gone from those Emma divers to the ocean depths in a homemade submarine.
Yeah, what a journey.
James Nestor's Deep has been quite a ride, but you know what gets me? How it all comes back to us, humans.
You're so right. It's easy to get lost in those incredible creatures and the extreme environments, but Nestor keeps bringing it back to us, our own complexity.
Exactly. And this idea that our modern lives might actually be, I don't know, disconnecting us from our natural abilities.
Oh, interesting.
Like you think about all the adaptations our bodies have for diving.
Right, right.
What if all this technology is making us lose touch with those primal instincts?
It is kind of a paradox, isn't it? We invent all this tech to explore the ocean,
Yeah.
but we're also becoming more detached from our own connection to it.
It's like we're putting up walls between ourselves and nature.
Yeah.
And maybe losing something important in the process.
Think about the AMA. They don't need fancy gadgets or training programs. They
Right.
they hold their breath, understand the water, and
Yeah.
trust their bodies. It's pretty incredible.
It is. Makes you think maybe we don't need all the bells and whistles to experience the ocean.
Maybe not.
Like maybe the key is to simplify, strip away the distractions, and rediscover those ancient instincts, you know?
I like that. And that's Nestor's challenge to us, isn't it? To
Yeah.
rethink how we see the ocean. Not as something to conquer or exploit, but as, I don't know, as humble students, eager to learn from its wisdom.
What's inspiring is even after all his research, all that exploration,
Yeah.
Nestor still says how much we don't know about the ocean.
There's so much more out there.
Mysteries to uncover, so much to learn.
It's that wonder that keeps us going, right? Knowing there's always more to discover, to understand.
It's what drives us to explore, what fuels our imagination.
Exactly.
And it leads to the big question Nestor leaves us with. If our bodies are this well suited to diving, and the ocean's full of secrets,
Yeah.
what could we learn about ourselves if we really explored further? It stays with you, that question, even after you finish the book.
It's a real call to action. Dive deeper, literally and figuratively. Push our limits and embrace the unknown, but with curiosity and respect.
It's like Nestor's saying the ocean isn't just this thing out there to be explored. It's a path inward to connect with something deeper within us.
I love that. And that's what makes Deep such a powerful book. It's not just about the ocean. It's about human potential, our place in nature,
Right.
and that power of exploration to change us.
So to everyone listening, if you want a book to really make you think, challenge what you assume, and leave you in awe,
Oh, yeah.
Deep by James Nestor,
Yeah.
you won't regret it.
Who knows? Maybe it'll inspire your own deep dive into the mysteries of the ocean or even just the depths of yourself.